Namaskar, welcome to this special edition of Wide Angle with Ashok Vyas. When we look at India and recollect unity in diversity as the core value coming from India for us, each state has such a distinct cultural, colorful way to connect, whether it is food, whether it is dress. But one common feature is a sense of compassion, a sense of soulfulness and selfless service. As I recollect the words of Swami Vivekananda, who said, त्याग और सेवा भारत के राष्ट्रीय आदर्श हैं, और वो बात बजाना नाम का जो एक संस्था, एक संगठन है जो बहुत सक्रिय रूप से कार्य कर रहा है अमेरिका में, बजाना की फुल फॉर्म बिहार झारखंड एसोसिएशन ऑफ नॉर्थ अमेरिका। और मेरा सौभाग्य है कि आज स्टूडियो में इस संगठन के जो नए पदाधिकारी हैं वो पधारे हैं, तो तीनों का स्वागत परिचय के साथ धीरे धीरे। तो सबसे पहले प्रीति जी ट्रेजरर के रूप में सक्रिय हैं, एंड वेलकम, थैंक यू वेरी मच। अनुराग जी आप अध्यक्ष के रूप में बागडोर संभाल रहे हैं, आपका स्वागत है। और सेक्रेटरी के रूप में प्रोफेसर अनिल अग्रवाल साहब हैं। तो जो प्रोफेसर साहब बैठे हों तो समटाइम्स इट इज़ बेटर टू स्टार्ट विद द प्रोफेसर हिमसेल्फ। सो टॉक टू अस इन नटशेल, व्हाट इज इट दैट यू सी is the significant role that has been played by Bajana over a couple of decades now?
So if I have been associated with Bajana for almost like 8-9 years now, and if I look back, those 8-9 years, so Bajana started with a cultural organization for people, first from people from Bihar, then it became Bihar Jharkhand, and it's 40 years organization. So most of the activities were like Holi, Diwali, celebrating today together, having dance, food, all those things. But what I see last 8 years is that, we have been changing the theme of Bajana, making more like a concept rather than just a cultural organization. So to give you an example, when the COVID came, our organization, we raised more than $300,000. We have been running online clinic to see patients, and many charitable activities that Anurag will talk later on in Bihar Jharkhand to help people with the COVID.
Wonderful. So we'll continue our conversation, and before we come to the president himself, let me also take this opportunity of requesting Preeti ji, who is now serving the organization as treasurer. When we come from India, we want to stay connected to our cultural roots. From that point of view, how important you feel is the role that Bajana is playing, और आपको कैसा लगा इस संगठन का हिस्सा बनना?
So इस टीम में, एग्जीक्यूटिव टीम में हम फ्रेशर्स हैं, एकदम न्यूबी, बट बजाना से काफ़ी दिनों से जुड़े हुए हैं, जुड़े एज अ व्हेन आई केम टू दिस फादरलैंड, बोरिंग अ वर्ड फ्रॉम नारायण मूर्ति's I came to this fatherland, but I used to miss my motherland and the activities which used to happen in my household. So it started from there. I started reaching out to people if there is any community activity going on, and I came to know about Bajana. Started going to events, getting engaged, and then later on, as saw opportunity to if I could help in any community services, and I was doing that as a volunteer. Just managing some stuff to be which could be helpful, and then. Finally, I got this opportunity to join to the executive team. So, but basically, to your question, the Bajana platform gives us a feeling of home. It has it always gives opportunity to connect with people with similar background, which gives us a comfort zone, a soulful feeling, and that is the basic core for my opinion.
I'm so happy to hear that, and it is very rare to have that kind of environment where you feel this sort of a soulful connect. And someone who works tirelessly, consistently is worthy of our praise. And that way, President Anurag ji, who started as volunteer with the organization, served as treasurer, vice president, now as president. So there is something about the organization which you definitely like. Otherwise, being in America or anywhere, other than your routine job and home life, if you are investing your time with some organization, there will be something that you feel is valuable for you. What is that?
I think the most valuable for me is from the time I joined this organization, I feel like family. Whether it's 24/7, if you have any challenges in your life or in your friend's life, not necessarily they have to be part of Bajana. Your friend also, anybody has challenges, you call at 1 o'clock in the morning also, and there will be some help available. They will jump on right away. And that's the big help you get by connecting to a community. And that's what I say, all my friends and family, get connected. Wherever you are in the US, get connected with the community, because that will give you a big, big helping hand to you. And that's what keep me like, I feel like always, what should we do? So whatever I'm getting, everyone else in the community also get, connecting them together when you have challenge and connecting with the doctors, mentors, all that kind of activity which we are doing.
Yeah. So before I go back to Professor, let me request you to share your vision as president of Bajana, because you have seen so many activities happening, and it is always challenging to execute some ideas on various fronts, bringing everyone together, having consensus, having resources, etc. So what is your vision?
So my vision is really continue the good work which is done by our predecessor, like some of the events, like whether it's a cultural activity, Chhath, Diwali, Holi, picnic, we will continue doing all that. Under the leadership of our last president, Dr. Avinash Gupta, he is a terrific leader. Means we all learn from him all the time. And we started numerous projects in last 2 years, like health camps in Bihar and Jharkhand. Doctors from here under the lead, like we do have a partner organization called Pran Bajana. With help of them and the local charity organization Astha and Asa in Bihar and Jharkhand, we have been running health camps in Bihar and Jharkhand. Doctors from here, when they are visiting there, they are going there running 50 to 100 each camps. People are coming. We also donated to the blind school, setting up the vocational training and that program is run by the Alok ji, who's FIA past president, and he's also Bajana members, and he's running that program for us. So I think the way we are doing is, as you can see, Alok ji is running one of the programs. So for each of the program, because you always have the crunch of the resources, you cannot do all the work yourself. So you need to have the right team who can execute your program Bajana vision. So next 2 years, we have set the vision for ourselves. In addition to continuing this culture activity, our focus is going to be, what do we do for our youth? How do we help our community who wanted to run a startup? How do we help a 9th, 10th, 11th grader what kind of classes they should take, if they wanted to get into medical or they want to get in engineering, different fields. So connecting all these three groups of people, the high school, the 9th, 10th, then undergrad and the professional together, that's the vision in the US we have set for ourselves. And at the same time, similar kind of vision we have for Bihar and Jharkhand as well, because lots of good people are there, but they need some directions. So we already started working with lots of colleges in Bihar and Jharkhand and reaching out to them. How can we start mentoring from the US and with different professionals? Like in next few weeks, we'll be starting how to get into higher education. And with Anil ji, he will be running that program, getting few of the professors in the US and running that program. So that's our vision, helping our youth, adults with the business, education, and India also the same thing, and continue with our culture, some of the charity work which we have started, and we'll start the new one as well.
Very, very impressive. Anurag, listening to the president of Bajana is inspiring with the vision and clarity in terms of where the help or guidance is needed. Bajana is there to extend that structure, and in this context I am aware that with the kind of money that was raised, medical clinic and ambulance and vocational training and camps etc. were organized. Give us a little bit more in-depth insight into the way Bajana coordinates its projects in India, Professor Agrawal?
So, the core thing is we are based in US. So what we have done is, like Anurag said, we have partnered with a couple of charities there. Astha and Asa, they're the two charities based in Bihar and Jharkhand. So what we do is we decide a project and we look at the budget and everything, and then we sign a MOU with those organizations. Exactly what the program will run, what is the cost, and how long the program will run, how will you do it, all the administrative cost, whatever cost is there. We have an MOU. Once we have MOU, then we transfer the fund to their account, which is, in India, have to be approved by FERA and all these things. So following the regulations, so these organizations are actually approved by the government of India. So we transfer the funds, and then we start carrying out the activities. And as they do the activities, they give us feedback. They provide us input on what they have done. Videos, photographs, whatever achievement has been there. So this is our modus operandi to carry out the activities. Now back here in USA, we try to do as much as possible to reach our sponsors at all levels. Because first we have to raise the money, then we can do a project there.
So Anil, I think this is a very important point, and I'll come back to you. But I want to go to your treasurer, the new treasurer now, and whether it is donors, supporters, members, everybody wants a sense of transparency. The money that I'm giving, contributing, where it is going, and that assurance goes through the way treasurer provides crystal clear picture of the transaction. So how challenging you feel is your role, because quite substantial amount of money is involved.
Yeah, that's true. Since I already mentioned I'm a newbie, so I'm still in the learning phase of it, how the actual handling of accounts is done, and how we monitor the incoming and outgoing funds. So yeah, it is challenging, and I, as already mentioned by Professor, that we have 100% donation goes to whatever it is being raised for. There is no housekeeping fund we utilize for. So it is challenging. I'm still in learning phase. That's all I can say, and looking forward to learn more.
So what I can also say is the sense of commitment, honesty, integrity, all that helps. Other skills can be developed, can be learned. Yes. So Anurag ji, that important skill of leading people, mobilizing them, and being able to connect with youth is also very important for anybody now. Especially since we are here, the second generation Indian Americans many times don't feel that kind of connect with Indian culture as you, if you came late here, feel. So from that point of view, what are the special programs or any ideas to make them become more involved with Bajana?
So I think the way we are taking this baby step is, we are starting with a prototype next week, right? Where we are expecting that 30 to 50 or maybe more kids will be joining, right? And those kids, we
virtually.
are virtually, right? That program is going to be run by the youth. 2 are in the second year of their college, 1 fresh passed out working for Intel, one is studying in NYU, second one is studying in Urbana-Champaign, Chicago. So these kids, when you need to give them a feeling what is in for them, right? And that's the reason we will get the feedback from them based on this prototype. What you think, how can you run this program? Because all this program, we want them to run it. We will help them whatever they need, but end of the day is them to decide what we need to run. So this is the prototype, and next few months, as we are thinking of similar kind of program, we are going to bring for how to get into the medical, in the med side, right? Similarly, if somebody wanted to get into the finance, like doing the trading kind of all different kind of job, how to get into that field. So bringing those expertise, I hope that that will be helpful, and they will also think, okay, by joining this event, I'm going to get this out of it. So we will keep some measurable goal, and we will get the feedback from them. Hopefully that will help them to join us.
So we always hear that information is important, but entertainment also is important. So what you are doing is good, but at the same time you should enjoy it also. So there has to be a fine balance. From that point of view, Professor Agrawal Sahab, you are interacting with youth on day-to-day basis as a civil engineering professor. What is it that you feel might help youth in looking at Bajana as homely place, as Anurag ji and Preeti ji have felt?
So to do that, following this event, what we are going to do is, so we'll look at the people who participated in the event, and eventually we are going to get a list of, let's say, 50 to 100 people. We're going to create a WhatsApp group, and these people will be participating in the WhatsApp group. And through that WhatsApp group, we'll let them exchange among them freely. But also they'll be connected to our core Bajana activities. So, whatever activities there, we'll pass it to them, we'll tell them whatever you need, let us know. But also we'll let them talk among themselves. One of our goals is actually that, the people from our cultural heritage, they generally don't interact a lot with each other. So the first goal is actually get this group of 50 or 100 kids, create this network, and give them a medium to start talking to each other, communicating. And they have grown in our cultures. If there's a Diwali, Holi, and all these festivals, we'll give our feedback that, hey, there's a Diwali, Holi, come on, participate, let's do something. And we'll give them idea that we are ready to help you. And, we are ready to do everything, including financial support. You guys plan some activities on your level, what you enjoy, not what we enjoy. And I'm pretty sure that they will come out with some activities, their own way of enjoying, connecting back with our group.
I think that's a very, very, very appreciable way of looking at the scene. If you are willing to provide them enough space and you are willing to give them a sense of freedom, it would bring them in. Allow me to ask you, coming from Rajasthan, and we have each state with its own distinct features, but if you disagree with me, that is fine. In general, the kind of image which we have for Bihar is not as good as it is in terms of, you look at the number of IAS, you look at number of scientists also coming from Bihar, but overall image is not that. So Bihar deserves its glory in terms of having right kind of recognition. So there is this need of awareness. Do you see that need, Preeti ji, also the way I see it, and anything on that front where others become aware about the greatness or the special features of Bihar Jharkhand?
Yeah, definitely. The stereotype is very prevalent about Bihar, and we see the need to break through that stereotype. And this platform, the point what was being discussed is that stereotypical image has seeped into our kids' mindset, and they want to distance themselves from our roots. So that's where we are trying to identify the gap and identify what exactly, and giving them the opportunity to tell them the story that break through those stereotypical images and look exactly what we are, and bring that pride in our younger generation and connect them back to our roots. That's what there is a dire need, of course. I totally agree with it, and that's where Anurag ji's vision is, that we want to reconnect our second generation back to those roots, breaking that stereotypical image and bring that pride among each and every. Already Bajana members are very own that pride, that being belonging to Bihar, that warmth that comes natural, and we want other people to see through those stereotypical images and see
that's
exactly.
Wonderful. And Anurag, when you look at luminaries who came from Bihar, if you name the top three that comes to your mind who are either internationally known or those who are like your role model?
So some of the role model, like of course from Bihar and Jharkhand, I represent both, right? We did have the opportunity to host MS Dhoni in US. Bajana hosted MS Dhoni.
Yep.
So MS Dhoni. Last few years, I would say Nitish ji also had changed the image of Bihar,
Yes.
right? He tried his best. He's trying his best. He has been honest, and I think means we all feel proud right now to say I'm Bihari or Jharkhand. So that's very, very good. And the third one, I would say my dad. He's my
Very
role
good.
model.
Very good.
He's
His name?
He's Kesmohan Prasad Singh. He's an executive engineer. I'm his elder son. Second son is DG. After IPS, he became DG in Odisha. So I feel really proud of him that he raised us and he brought us to this level.
I'm really happy to hear that. I'll have the same question for you if you want to name any two Biharis who you are inspired from.
Well, tough, but like Anurag said, I'll select my father as the first role model. So just like you're from Rajasthan, I'm originally from Rajasthan, but at home we have Rajasthani culture, outside Bihari culture. So I always imagine my father from very remote village in Bihar, all alone, decided to go all the way to BHU, Banaras Hindu University, to do bachelor's in English and psychology. That also from a place where nobody had gone out. And one day he decided, I just want to go and study. It always amazes me. So last time I was in BHU, and I was, somebody told me what room he stayed there. So I just went near
Wow.
that room, and I was just imagining that, he's there, he's doing his daily chores. I just started crying there.
So I think that's very, very beautiful.
So he has been my role model the whole life. There are other role models, but if you look at people like MS Dhoni, they go beyond the boundaries of any state or anything.
I think literally speaking, really speaking, any role model will not be a role model if he's confined to
us.
boundaries. But
Yes.
this is just because we are talking from the spectrum of Bajana, so we are looking at them like
Yeah.
that. But the limitation of time, and I will go to Preeti ji with the question which is specific to females. And do you see there is additional need to pay attention to removing the inequality among genders, and any programs that you feel are specifically oriented towards young girls here through
Over
Bajana?
here through Bajana? No, Bajana is very open for, I can definitely vouch for that. There is no discrimination based on your gender. But yes, definitely female representation is more needed. And fortunately, I have been given
Yeah.
opportunity. And then there was Anjali Prasad was elected Bajana president few years back. So Bajana is definitely gender neutral, but in general, as everywhere you can see, female engagement is needed more and more.
But because Preeti ji is just newcomer to the
Yeah,
Bajana
that's
platform,
true.
so I just want to add that. Women empowerment and women, child empowerment, and providing, supporting women has been the core theme of Bajana, for last many years.
Yeah.
In fact, in every aspect, we try to see that we bring women as volunteers, but appreciate or felicitate them for their achievement. In Bihar also, if we find somebody who is really doing good, we support them. But going forward, like Anurag and we are working together, women empowerment in Bihar, in colleges, supporting women in education, all aspects. that's one of the core things that we are interested in promoting.
Wonderful. So I really appreciate your contribution for Bhajana, for our community, and of course, whichever be the state, ultimately it is the Indian culture which is bringing us together, and we really feel a sense of belongingness and a sense of fellow feeling resulting into like you are with your own family members, and there is a natural flow of affection, and that needs to be streamlined through cultural programs and various programs which you are organizing successfully. So Preeti ji, thank you very much for coming. Anurag ji, congratulations, as well as good wishes for leading the organization towards new heights. Professor Agarwal, thank you very much, sir. So thanking the committee members, team leadership of Bhajana, and thanking all of you for being with us. This is Ashok Vyas. Namaste.
Thank you.